and that accomplishes it. So if you can, that would be awesome. And moving on, let's talk about event results. So Apex, the finals for Apex was, I guess, to be expected. I mean, we all thought the semifinals, at least, was going to be basically determine who would win between Envious and Rogue. But anyways, Envy ended up beating Africa Blue 4-0, and I don't know. I mean, anything interesting to really talk about? I mean, definitely on the first map, Arhan. I mean, Africa Blue tried something different. You know, they tried running Arhan on like Zarya, I believe it was, just to start things off, and that, you know, then they quickly switched back to what they were typically known for with Arhan and Genji or whatnot. So I don't know, anything really stick out for you guys in the series?
I mean, we've been harping on it quite a bit throughout the show today. Africa Blue just did not play this current meta. They were still sticking with McCree. They were still sticking with Zarya. They just did not adapt to the prevalence of Divas and Roadhogs and Reinhardts on almost every single team, and Soldier on almost every single team. They didn't, like, they barely picked any of these heroes. They were playing basically like, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but they were playing 2-3 week old meta, which was just not cutting it against Envious. Yeah.
Damn.
That's how fast this game evolves.
It really is, and it shows too. I mean, they were, I don't know. Most of the time when I was watching, I just felt like Arhan, not whether it's his fault or not, I just felt like was on a different page than the rest of the team, and whether he was trying to push tempo a little bit more than the rest of the team or whatnot, it just wasn't in sync, and unfortunately, I felt like they were just, you know, they're just getting rolled over on most of the maps. I think the second map was close, right? There was one, was it, it was Volskaya that was close, I believe? Kind of close?
Volskaya had like a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I think Volskaya was kind of close.
It was very like quickly shut down.
Yeah, but every time I was watching, I just felt like Arhan was like doing something. And at times I felt like he was just trying something that it would have been nice if his team was supporting him, but a lot of times he was just stuck like on an island by himself and he would just get killed. Like, two of them would chase him down, you know. It's like
I want to show you something that was like kind of brought to my attention not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I know Ben was talking about Wikipedia, and I love Wikipedia. And I feel like I'm giving them promotion here for no reason, but look in Skype real quick.
Okay.
Called Winston's Lab.
Yeah.
And they do some like, I don't know how they get this information, but some like really sick stuff. Like they even show the kill feed of like these maps and like who killed who when.
Okay, let's take a look.
And like you can see
Wow,
on Nepal.
It must be
computer vision, because I know it misses things.
Okay.
It must be
It's
image
all,
recognition. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's
like,
all computer
I'm looking
vision.
at Sanctum Nepal, and like Harry Hook gets the first kill 20 seconds in onto Recry on Zenyatta.
Whoa,
And then Internet Hoke kills
Whoa.
Arhan on Zarya. Like you can see like I mean, it might not be like perfectly correct, but it shows you like how the match generally went. Got like statistics of the actual match, like in terms of like distances, numbers, and like fastest point A Captain Hollywood, 352 for AF Blue, 103 for Envious. So they successfully attacked on the first point. Like Volskaya, like they have all this stuff. That's actually really cool. They show like how many ults they got, kill deaths. I don't know. Wikipedia doesn't do this stuff. I wish they did, but it's really sick to look at this. And then you also have under the video, under the VOD, like last 5 matches each of the teams have played, and it shows last 5 matches the teams have played against each other. If you want to look at like head-to-heads.
Wow, yeah, this is good info.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, this is definitely great.
Like I love Wikipedia. I contribute like a lot to that site, but it doesn't have this kind of information.
This is
like,
sick. It's got all the VODs here too.
Yeah, this is amazing. And man, you guys think this is just screen recognition stuff?
I mean, that tech.
Wow. Yeah.
That tech exists.
Yeah, it definitely does. But like for Overwatch, that'd be pretty impressive, though.
Like you can see time played Ana across all maps and all rounds by all teams, 1 hour and 20 minutes, 100% Ana play rate.
Okay, well, using this site, Jason, did you derive anything cool from the match, or?
Oh, I just literally pulled it up right now, and I'm just looking. Okay. Yeah, like you guys were saying, Arhan, like just to look at numbers alone, like wasn't the damage dealer he normally is. He had a negative KD ratio. Like I didn't actually watch the matches yet, but they look at like Harry Hook, who's support player normally for Envious. He's plus 12. Like these are normally numbers you use in like Counter-Strike, but like him, Mickey, both at plus 12. Like even Coco had a plus KD as like a Reinhardt player. I don't know. It just you just kind of see.
Poor Chips.
Oh, you can also toggle
minus
heroes, by the
13.
way. You can see heroes kill deaths on individual heroes.
Where?
Harry Hook was
Oh,
29
toggle.
and 18.
Is this
there we
graph?
With
Wait,
Harry
is
Hook.
this
Click
graph
toggle
showing
heroes.
when they use their ults too?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, how do you do that?
That's what I mean. That's what I was
How
like.
did you do that with
I don't know.
image recognition?
Manually, because I think it's manual. Because I'm pretty sure it misses things. People were like talking about it. There was a long
Oh, so this is like
discussion about this.
kind of
like a manual thing.
kind of thing. Wow.
This is
okay.
nuts.
Well,
I
actually,
mean, it was
that's not. No, that's not
20.
true. That's actually you could do that with
Oh.
image recognition really
Oh
easily.
yeah,
with
you
the
could.
clock.
Yeah.
You could.
You could do a computer vision's some scary shit, man. We can go on for hours.
Okay, so it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty darn. I mean, this at least it's pretty close, and that's
Check the check marks, man.
check the check marks. That's right.
Like click toggle heroes at the top. And if you
Yeah.
look at the roster, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
So you can see like the kill breakdowns for each hero and like who they played.
Yeah. So
Like Harry Hook
was 29,
played 4 different
18.
heroes. Arhan played 6 different heroes. So did Recry. No, Recry played 8.
Recreate
I
played
mean,
a
obviously-
lot.
Yeah,
They kept
like
switching.
that's insane.
He played
Yeah,
literally
I
every
mean,
single role. Like
That
literally.
team had issues with like ult things. Like they kept running. They were running Genji. Like they would try Genji, but they wouldn't nano boost him. And then you
Yeah.
just like, okay, it's just like Genji without speed, without damage mitigation, and you just get shredded by the
Mickey
76.
or
There was like
Mickey.
one fight I remember, like it sticks out in my head, where Arhan pops a Dragon Blade
nothing.
and Harry Hook just pops sprint and just runs away from him, and he chases him the entire duration, never catches him,
Yeah.
then dies. It was like the saddest thing in the world.
Wow.
There's
Sorry,
map stats as well, by the way.
I'm just looking. Like Taibu only played Roadhog. He didn't switch to
Yep.
anything
Oh,
else.
that's
once.
true. I didn't actually notice that until you
Yeah.
said that. Well, he's doing fine.
Taibu the
Yes.
Roadhog, man.
He was doing
killing
pretty
everything.
good.
Did you see that one play where he freaking whole hogs while he's by himself? He drops from the top
Yeah, he
of
completely,
Hollywood and just pushes everybody
dominated.
off of it like in overtime. Oh, that was an awesome play. Definitely great. I feel Harry Hook was just having a field day. Like nobody was. I mean, obviously he would die here and there, of course, but most of the time they would switch
He
to
died
Harry
at
Hook.
least once, you know?
I mean, and most of the time they switched to Harry Hook, and he was just shooting whatever the hell he wanted, whether a visor or not. Just like nobody really pressured
Yeah, they
him
never
at
really
all.
ran 76
Yeah.
on AFB, and then if you're not running 76, what are you running? That's kind of what it felt like most of the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of like Gibraltar, by the way, like I'm looking at the
Yes,
stats for Gibraltar, looking at like attack red. You see Taimu gets a kill onto Dayfly. He kills Anna with Roadhog. So obviously he hooked Anna in the fight, and the team engaged with like McCree dying and then Roadhog. Like I don't know, that's so cool to see like fight breakdowns without having to actually watch the VODs to like
Who
just see.
feeds first
where the-
more
yeah.
often?
Yeah, exactly.
That 5-minute mark. There's a 5-minute mark. There's like a crap load of things happening. Like right.
Yeah, I didn't mean to like give them like a giant shout out, but I don't know if you guys
Hey,
have
I mean,
seen
if
this.
if it's a cool
why the
tool,
hell not?
yeah, a cool tool in the community, we want
I
to
didn't
give
mean
shout
to
outs
plug
to stuff.
someone else's success.
They're not paying me or anything.
They're not paying. Even better that we're plugging them and not being paid. Not a sponsored plug there. But if you want to sponsor, feel free. That's cool. But yeah, any other last comments on it? Obviously, congratulations to Envious and pulling that off.
I have something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say like how important the Overwatch World Cup was for all this. Actually,
Yes,
because like
absolutely.
they would never, ever, ever have thought of Mickey or discovered Mickey until Overwatch World Cup happened. Like he actually was doing really well for Thailand, and then he gets picked up for the team, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Mickey's like amazing," and everyone's like knowing the name Mickey. Like for him, it's such a big thing. Like I don't think as someone growing up in Thailand, you necessarily have like the notion of becoming a professional player in a video game, but like now he has the opportunity to join Envious and do that. I thought that was really cool.
Can we just say that guy looks fun as shit too? He looks like a cool guy to be around. And speaking of Mickey,
He tripped walking onto the stage.
did he? I missed
yeah,
that.
he
I totally
Walking
missed
onto the
that.
stage when we were doing the group stage stuff. He like fell really hard, and on the desk, we'll turn around and look at him. It was hilarious, but no, really funny guy.
But Envious has officially picked them up, right?
No, he's trialing
No.
still.
He's still trialing? Okay.
Yeah.
There were like talks about how I don't know if he was like down to do it, full time.
Okay.
Like for them, I guess, because he has to leave Thailand, obviously.
Okay. Well, I guess they have to figure out what's going on. I mean, they're going to play with him in Vegas?
Can we talk about the production value actually? Of that
Yeah, let's talk
tournament?
about the production value too. The stage was
like-
cool. The stage
Yeah, the
was
stage was sick. It was like
Yeah.
all TVs or something.
yeah, it was like
LEDs
LEDs
underneath.
below them. Yeah, on the stage.
And then they had the performer perform High Noon.
Oh my god, dude!
And like
that-
I've never
that
been more
was
excited in my
hilarious.
life. It was like 4:00 in the morning. I was like delirious tired. You know, like when you hit that point where everything is funny to you. I was dying watching
That guy was
Especially good
awesome,
with Twitch
dude.
chat.
Yeah.
That guy was so funny. Oh man, he's got the hat on and shit too. That
He's in the
McCree
Banana
hat.
McCree outfit. Just living his life.
If you guys didn't catch that, you guys have to watch the VOD. That was funny. Also, the whole Jenga thing with the two team or with Endias was pretty hilarious too. Watching
Yeah,
that.
because
was
like
pretty
it was like hardcore Jenga.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
I don't play
It's
like that, man.
stack them
Stacking it
vertically on top of
vertically
each
and
other. I don't even
shit.
know who does that.
Yeah, totally.
never seen that before.
'Cause it would only last like 10 turns max. You'd have
Yeah.
to, and like I don't know. They must have had some pretty sturdy tables.
A great casting, Monty Doa. Excellent job, of course. Stage was like, it was kind of weird. It had like those three little those arms for the stage,
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure.
It looked
Wha-
like something you would see at like a concert hall. But
Yeah.
maybe there were more concerts planned, but we didn't get to 7 games, so we won't know if there was like
Oh,
a second
maybe.
performance coming out.
Oh, okay, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
But anyways, yeah, to wrap it up, just congratulations to them, and hopefully I'd like to see more Mickey with them. I mean, I think they have great chemistry with him, and whether it's in game or off game, it's pretty easy to have good chemistry when you're winning, though. but he does seem like a good addition. We'll see what happens in Vegas here. Okay, so we don't have too much time left. Let's take those questions. Got a couple of questions from folks that emailed them in. And if you do want to email your questions in for next week, go ahead and email that to theoverview@chanmanv.tv. And we'll definitely take the email questions just highest priority. Okay, so Klingo asked, a few weeks ago, Roadhog was only rarely used in competitive matches or in tournaments. But nowadays, we see him in almost every match. What do you think initiated this change and made him so good in the current meta?
There are so many factors. It's really like there's no one thing. It's just like I think it's like a huge combination of things.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm pretty sure co-hosts would agree with me that a lot of this current meta comes down to who can break the other Reinhardt shield first and get that cheeky hook. That's how so many teams are winning fights right now. But obviously, it's not just the fact that Diva's really big in the meta right now. So you have Soldier really big in the meta. So the fact that Soldier's so strong means you're seeing a lot less Reaper, which in turn helps Roadhog
Right.
on the margins. Like there's all these little things. Obviously, Ana is a completely central part to this strategy. The healing from Ana is what powers Roadhogs and Divas and Reinhardts to survive as long as they do. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of little things, but it's interesting though, right? Because Roadhog wasn't changed. Roadhog hasn't been changed in like months. So it was changes to other characters that kind of brought him into relevance.
And that's cool.
Hasn't really been any change to him except like fixing his hook, right? He's one of the very few heroes
Yeah.
that hasn't really been touched.
That's right. But that's good design. Whenever you can affect characters that without actually, affecting a character's play rate without actually changing him itself, that's great.
I think another big factor is the ult percent change. I'm sorry, I didn't know if you just pointed that out, Ben. Because since ults charge slower, like the importance of a pick is much higher, meaning you can have a 6-on-5 fight that you don't really need to commit ultimates to win if you do it right. So
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that Roadhog hook is easier to get a kill with than High Noon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Pulse Bomb or really 90%.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Next question we have here is from Tom K. It's got like a long email actually, but my question for you guys centers around Overwatch League. Like you guys find this idea of going whole hog and completely it says like you guys, I find this idea of going whole hog and completely modeling an esports league like conventional sports leagues to be fascinating. It kind of throws back to like remember Evil Genius is being compared to Yankees of StarCraft back in StarCraft 2, and his question is basically, let's see, do you think that the lack of a salary cap, or first off, do you think there will be a salary cap in Overwatch League? And if not, do you think the lack of a salary cap is a cause for concern? So, because one team can obviously just buy up as much talent if they have a ton of money. kind of like we see with the Yankees, right? The Yankees literally can throw as much money as they want in baseball, unlike basketball and unlike football, where there is a cap. It's the cap's supposed to be there for parity, right? Just to give every single franchise a chance to contend for the championship and thus make whatever revenue that they can from the success of their teams. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Should there be a salary cap? Do you think there will be a salary cap?
I had this thought today because I watched Monty's 45-minute video about like his thoughts on the league and stuff, and like he didn't bring this up, but it like popped into my mind, I guess, around one of the parts he was talking about. And I was thinking to myself, like, would you make super teams? Like, would it be worth it in the long run? It's like a hard question to ask because you have to take a lot of things into consideration, like logistics, like personalities, skill levels. I don't know. Like, I'm not against it, but I could see it not really mattering as much as it would in other sports.
That's a different, like what you just listed there. Those are obviously things you take into consideration when you're building a team. But assuming those are all good, right? Personality clashes don't exist, and it's literally just money. Like, should basically the team that has the most money be able to get whoever they want?
I mean, isn't that what happened to Creation Esports and Dignitas? Dignitas had the money. They were a bigger and more stable organization. They just bought Creation. And then now they're under the Dignitas banner.
Buying Creation's different, though, than...
Yeah, he means, like, if Mendo costs, like, $100K and then only one team could afford him, and then that other team could also afford someone else that was $100K, but, like, only one org had access to millions of dollars and other orgs didn't.
So I'm getting confused. Is it salary cap on individual players or salary cap for your whole roster of players?
No, salary cap. Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Salary cap.
No. Like, you can't pay the players more than $100,000, or you can only spend like $1 million.
No, your team. Yeah. So your team can only spend so much. Yeah. So there are definitely some sports where there is no cap. You could, if you were willing to lose money
in Europe.
Yeah, and baseball and here too. Like, if you want to spend $1 billion on a guy, you can. I mean, they were talking about Bryce Harper trying to get $400 million contract in baseball. Like, his agent trying to make that happen. That's freaking crazy.
Oh my God.
I know, isn't that nuts? So, we're talking about that sort of thing.
Turn-based sport.
Turn-based sport. Yeah. So Ben, what do you think?
Esports has never had a salary cap before, but esports has never had a league that has tried to emulate mainstream sports like this.
CGS.
Well, other than CGS, but we pretend that didn't happen.
That's just wiped from the memory.
The crazy part is, like, people in chat right now, like, no one would even know CGS because most people think esports was born in 2011. Anyway, I don't know. I think it would be fine.
To not have it,
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see a salary cap, I think, of some kind. Yeah, as long as the players are getting paid as much as the market allows,
If we're talking about salary caps,
give them all the money.
If we're talking
we don't
about
want to limit the player salaries, but
no, I mean, if we're talking about salary caps, then we're obviously talking about player associations and things like that. I mean, they have to be represented well. These bargaining agreements need to be fair.
I've been wondering that
all
too.
That stuff. Yeah, so
it's like another topic that I would love to bring
anyway.
up, I guess, with the right people at Blizzard and see what they're planning.
Well, I think the league gets started first, and then some of these things can be put in place. But
I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. Like, I like the idea of Tvik riding around in a Ferrari, and like everyone talking about him being this like the highest paid player in Overwatch kind of thing, and a team just like some billionaire coming into the league and trying to pick all the individual players up and trying to build like a super team at the same rate. Like, it could be a super team of like all the best stars, but they might not play well together, so it actually would fail, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't hate the idea, but I don't love it of having a cap until like we actually see it implemented, I guess.
Well, the issue with not having a salary cap, and I mean, I like all those things. I mean, it'd be cool, yes, to see all of our favorite players like just pimping it out.
I wouldn't trust
basically,
Mendo
doing
in a
great.
Ferrari.
Tvik in a Ferrari that's painted in kebab. Like it's just kebab.
No, it's literally just that sausage.
It's
the sausage
with
its face and stuff on the side.
Yes, I would pay for that too. No, but the thing with the salary cap, if you don't have one, it ends up creating this crazy inflated market. And I'll give baseball as an example. Just for some reason I'm giving baseball, and baseball is like my least favorite sport out of all the sports here in America. But when Alex Rodriguez first had that $100 million contract, it was like the first time we ever saw this 9-figure contract ever in baseball. It totally made pushed the market higher for every single other team. You know what I mean? So it just raises the bar. And a lot of times whenever the market is low for players, then that's great, right? But if you get to the point where there's just like one person that's like, okay, I'm going to pay this Overwatch player like $20 million. And then like the next team below that can only pay the guy like $5 million. Then you start, then you have this expectation from players that ends up becoming distorted, right? And it causes a weird conflict in just the market itself. So
I probably have a cap, I would imagine. I mean, at least for season 1, again, because just because of the lack of players union, like if they're gonna do it in a very everything has to be equal, I guess is the word.
So for me, they can't have a cap without there being a players union, in my opinion. So if they don't have a players union, they shouldn't have a cap. But if they do have a cap, then the players need to be represented correctly. Like, hopefully Blizzard will take into account the players or whatnot. And I don't know how the actual structure will work. If it literally Blizzard just deals with the teams and then the teams do whatever the hell they want with the players. But if Blizzard's not this overlying player association / just the overall owner of the league, then there needs to be some kind of representation before.
I had a vision actually of them like splitting. I don't know if this is like just some weird thing that I think, but I feel like this has to become its own entity eventually.
Well, it's going to be an entity that's owned by Blizzard, though.
Yeah, so but I feel like it would have to expand to other. It's I feel like this looks the same.
Yeah.
What's the word? The picture that they're painting will affect other esports. So I don't know how that's going to work out, if I'm even correct in thinking that, but
at the same time, I don't think you're ever going to see a publisher give the rights of their game away.
No way.
No, definitely not. I just meant more
well, there's Call of Duty, there's StarCraft.
If CS:GO wanted to go to regionalized tournaments, or E-League wanted to make an OWL for CS or something, I feel like there'd be a lot of overlap in logistics and what they're trying to do. I was just curious because if what they're saying is correct, right? Or if what Monty and everyone thinks is that the billionaires and the Robert Krafts and the Elon Musks are going to start investing into orgs, those orgs aren't going to are they going to limit all of that money specifically at Overwatch? Is the CS:GO team going to have to rebrand with their city now? That was kind of, I guess, where I was going with that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If they actually get billionaire sports franchise owners to open and have esports in their arenas at home, having home games and away games, can they use those same resources for other games?
Right.
And I feel like the org owners would push for that, right? Because it would be oh, maybe we could have CS:GO tournament at 8 and then Overwatch is at 10. I don't know, stuff like that. It's just I was just curious, I guess, as to what you guys thought, or if I'm even just thinking way too down the road. But I would imagine that if I was a CS org that also had an Overwatch team, I'd be hey man, we should all do this together.
Well,
yeah.
You also have to keep in mind that
last point, we got to wrap up.
All right, is that if you're an org that wants to get into the Overwatch League, you have to pay an ass ton of money to actually be a part of it in the first place. So you're not going to have some. Well, I would hope ideally you're not going to be some org that's mainly CS, Australis or something. Pick up an Overwatch team and be all right, we're part of Overwatch League now, kind of thing. It actually have to be a big commitment for a lot of the organizations out there.
I anticipate that happening,
professional
right?
sports, but.
I still think that each one will be treated differently, though. Overwatch will be treated there should be a separate, just the management of that sport, whether it's within the team or not, it should be separate for each game. It shouldn't be.
I was looking at this as a weird FIFA-esque thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's just a FIFA for all of esports, not just Overwatch.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's down the road.
All right, well, Ben's got a meeting, so we got to go. So let's do some shout-outs here. It's a great show, though. Lots of awesome news, and the questions were great. Actually, the last question in particular was amazing. So keep sending those questions. Again, email the overview at ChanManV.tv, and we'll read those out next week. Flame, want to do some shout-outs? Where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Discord.
I'm playing my
Discord a lot.
Vegas.
You can find me in Vegas next weekend.
Yes.
Shout out to everyone. Everyone got me here. This was not it was my doing, right? But I couldn't have done it without everybody. So like you guys, all the people that have been like so good on stream, like all the people that support me on Twitch and Twitter and Reddit. So I'm like humbled, which like never happens with me, but I'm like, I don't know, like just thank you to everybody.
No, it's awesome, man. You deserve it for sure. And make us proud, dude. Totally make us proud. Jason, how about you? Shout outs. Where can people find you?
Twitter, J Kaplan, Twitch, Jason Kaplan. Also shout out to my parents again every week for what they did for me to get here today. ChanManV for doing the show. Flame, good luck for you next week. And Fishstix, hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon.
One day.
One day. One day. Ben, how about you?
MGA this weekend going on in London. Check that out. Gfinity TV, I think, is the channel. Not quite sure, but you'll see it on Reddit. Then next weekend is MLG and IAM Korea. Both of those are going to be huge. Make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to the competitive Overwatch subreddit because we post about all of those things over there. Probably one of the best ways to stay on top of Overwatch esports and what's going on in the scene. So make sure to do that as well. Follow the channel here. Follow me at Fishstix on Twitter. And that's it.
All right, and I'll wrap things up. Thanks to the three of you guys for doing the show. All you folks for watching. Like Ben said, watch MGA this weekend and play Overwatch, guys. Get in there, play some competitive. Get your placement matches done. And if you missed the show, you can catch the VODs. All the VODs, even previous episodes, are on youtube.com/ChanManV. And if you're an iTunes listener, you can find it on iTunes also. You just go to podcast, search for Overwatch, and you'll see the overview listed down there too. The audios will be available probably early tomorrow. It always takes like 12 hours or so for iTunes to update it. If you're an Android listener too, there's Google Podcasts too. You can find it there. But until next week, guys, for Flame, Jason Kaplan, Fishstix, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next time. Later.
Peace out.